I say this with love, but if you wish to become wealthy, but you're not willing to make any changes, that is gonna be the slowest path there. And in some cases, you may never get there. When it comes to a new year, most people have so many high hopes and good intentions to make this their year. But what most people won't admit is that they don't have a solid plan to execute against. And in real life, especially with money, you need more than wishing and hoping to get to a point of financial security and freedom. You need a game plan that you can start today. So I'm here to tell you that you can change your wealth trajectory in 2026. Today, I will show you a simple way to fast track your way to wealth so that 2026 truly is your year to shine. And if you stick around to the end, I have a challenge at the end of the video that is going to keep you accountable all year. My name is Lissa. I'm a certified financial planner who helps people build wealth and an abundant mindset. So if that's your vibe, make sure you subscribe. Today, whenever you are watching this, I want you to picture yourself on December 31st, 2026. This is not an evergreen video. This video is going to expire in the year 2026. I want you to think about, how does future you feel like when you look at your net worth graph that I'm going to have you calculate today? You do not want future you to give you a side eye or roll their eyes at you. You want future you to feel proud of your past decisions and everything you did this year to level up your finances. Let's go through 3 simple steps that you can incorporate today to change your wealth trajectory and to make sure that your net worth is higher on December 31st than it is today. The first step in this 3-step framework is take a snapshot. You gotta know where you stand. This step is gonna take some work, especially if you've never done this before. The gist is that you need a snapshot of where you currently stand financially, because you can't change what you can't see, and you won't be able to track progress if you don't know where you're starting from. So this is considered your baseline. Essentially, you want a 1-page picture of your finances that has 4 different inputs. Your money in for a month and your money out for a month. Now, if you want to use a longer period, feel free to do that. Just make sure it's the same amount of time you use for your money in and your money out. The 3rd and 4th inputs you need are your assets and your liabilities. Assets are everything that you own, and your liabilities are everything that you owe. When you have these 4 figures, you'll be able to calculate 2 snapshots. Number 1, your current cash flow. When you know what money's coming in and what money's going out for a month or a quarter or a full year, that's gonna give you an idea of how much extra money you have that you can dedicate towards building wealth. And then when you track your assets minus your liabilities, so everything you own minus everything you owe, that is a snapshot of your total wealth today. And that's the number that you are going to compare against when you look at it again on December 31st. If you need help figuring out those 4 inputs, which shoot out your monthly cash flow and your net worth, I have free spreadsheet templates for both of those calculations, which you'll be able to find in the description below. Now, if this is totally new to you guys and you guys have never calculated these numbers before, I want to briefly touch on what they are. Your cash flow is your money in minus your money out. And typically you can look at this for a month span or longer if you want to know your cash flow for an entire quarter or year. When you take how much money comes in and you subtract how much money that comes out, you're going to be left with a number. That number is either going to be a negative number, a positive number, or it might equal out at 0. Knowing that number gives you information on what your next step is to make money moves that will change your wealth trajectory, which we're going to touch on in step 2. But before we get there, let's quickly cover what net worth is. It's not just celebrities that have a net worth, everyone has one. You take the amount of everything you own and you subtract everything you owe, that's going to give you a number that again is going to be a negative number, a positive number, or it might be 0. Now, while this particular number is less important on a day-to-day basis, meaning your cash flow is going to have more of an impact on your daily financial decisions, you want to know your net worth because that is how you're going to know that you're making progress over time. If you download my free spreadsheets to help you calculate it, it'll give you some more information on what assets actually are and what liabilities are. Your assets include your checking accounts, your savings accounts, investment accounts, retirement accounts, and the current value of any big items you own that you could actually sell. Think your home, maybe even your car. Liabilities, on the other hand, are everything you owe. This could be your credit card balances if you're not paying them in full, your student loan payments, your car loans, any personal loans, etc. A quick note about including your home if you own one or your car is that the asset side will show the value of that asset, of your home or your car. Imagine if you were to sell it today, how much money you could get for it. But then on the liability side, you have to include how much money you still owe on that asset. So if you have a mortgage or an auto loan, that amount needs to be in the liabilities. So like I said, step one has a lot of moving parts to it because you're going to be looking at your finances and doing some calculations. But the goal is that once you have this information, you know what your monthly cash flow generally looks like, and you know what your current net worth is today, you can draw some insights from it. And that's going to give you information of what you can do in step two, which is to build up your systems and your habits. The best way to accelerate your wealth building journey is to remove friction. When you look at the practical side of wealth building, I call it the big three. There are really three actions you can take that are going to help you build your wealth, aka build your net worth. That is saving, investing, and paying off debt. If you use your income and your resources that come your way towards saving, investing, or paying off debt, those have a direct positive impact on your net worth. The problem most people have is balancing other priorities, wants, and needs with those big three. If you leave it up to willpower, it's going to be hard to stay consistent. This might not apply to all of you, but what happens to some people is they get a paycheck and then they pay all their bills because they got to pay their rent. They have to pay all of their debt. They need to go buy groceries. They have to go buy things for themselves. And then they'll see later if they have extra money that they can put towards saving or investing or making extra payments on their debt. When you leave it up to willpower like that, it's hard to stay consistent. Like maybe you'll save, invest, and pay off debt some months, and then other times you don't. Step two is about setting up systems that ensure you are prioritizing the big three of wealth building in a consistent manner. You want to prioritize them and make sure they are happening no matter what. The nuance here is resources, because that's what most people struggle with, is trying to figure out, with my limited resources, what should I use them on? So going back to step number one, as I said earlier, when you calculated your cash flow, you have an understanding of if you are in the positive, negative, or at zero. This is going to tell you what to prioritize. If you are in the positive, you have extra cash flow on a regular basis every month, you can immediately set up systems to ensure that that extra money goes towards the big three. I'll give you an example of an emergency fund. So let's say you have no emergency fund or it's not yet fully funded. Your goal is to direct that extra cash flow towards your emergency fund on a consistent basis. You can do that with an automatic transfer or a direct deposit, but this is the system and habit you want to build up now that's going to keep you consistent without you having to think about it every month. You're not going to have to think about, how much should I put in my emergency fund this month? You're just going to have it happen automatically. Now on the flip side, let's say your cash flow number is in the negative or it's around zero. Maybe you're living paycheck to paycheck. It's going to be hard to automate savings because you're going to be always pulling from your savings. So for you, a priority you might want to consider before you even get to that is setting up a money date regularly, every week, every other week, to make sure you are working on your finances. And what you want to do during that time frame is figure out, how can I increase my cash flow? Because in order to do the big three, save money, invest money, pay off debt, you have to have some extra cash. You can't be living paycheck to paycheck or going further into the negative every month. And there's really two ways to do that. That is increasing your income or reducing your expenses. If money is really, really tight, you want to spend your time trying to figure out both. You want to try to increase your income and decrease your expenses. Sometimes increasing your income takes longer and is harder to do, which is why I say to focus on both. Also look at what expenses you can currently cut. The habit I want you to build, the system, is to set up that time on your calendar on a regular basis where you're gonna work on your finances. An hour every week where you're trying to figure out, how can I bring down my expenses? How can I increase my income? If you can do these things where you look at your cash flow and you're using that extra cash towards the big three, or you're not there yet, but your goal is to increase your cash flow so that you can do the big three, you will change your trajectory towards wealth this year. Now, before we move on to step number 3 and the special challenge I want to share with you at the end of the video, real quick, please don't forget to like this video if you're getting something out of it. It's going to help my video and my channel reach more people, and that's all I want to do, is to help more people with their finances. Step number 3, if you really want to change your wealth trajectory this year, and wealth is a goal of yours, I want you to think about sprints. I want you to think about, what can you do in short bursts that is going to boost your wealth building. So you have a snapshot of your numbers. You have some systems and habits you set up to really change your wealth trajectory. If this is a big goal of yours in 2026, you can do it by building in sprints. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that people like to make these big goals, they want to improve their finances, but a lot of times they don't have solid plans to execute against, right? Most people want to be rich. Most people want more because we know it'll give us a better quality of life. But if you're not willing to change your habits or make sacrifices here and there, it's gonna take longer to get there. But you are here, you're watching this video, so I know you are different. I know that you are willing to do what it takes to improve your net worth and see that change 12 months from now. So let's talk quickly about what is a sprint. Sprints are these shorter periods of time where you can focus on one specific element that is going to get you to your goal faster. I would challenge you to do a couple of sprints in this next year, which can last anywhere from a month or 2, and those will really speed up your trajectory towards wealth. So let me just give you a few examples so you know what I'm talking about. Sprint idea number 1. For one entire month, work on cutting out recurring expenses. This is a good one to do early on, because if you can cut out recurring expenses, you're not just saving money for this month, you're gonna be saving money for this month and future months. So here's how you can approach it. For every week, set aside 1 hour for an entire month, and in that hour, every week, you're going to go through every category you have of recurring payments, subscriptions, streaming apps, phone, internet, insurance. Some of these you can't cancel or pause, but maybe you can downgrade or negotiate. So what you want to do during that time you set aside is to really clean up your finances and not be paying for things that you don't want or need. Sprint idea number 2. For 1 or 2 months, make extra cash. Pick 1 month or 2 months and focus solely on making extra income. I'm very big on side hustles if they're temporary, because I don't like people burning out or thinking that you always have to trade your time for money. But if you really want to accelerate your goals, like accelerate building your emergency fund or paying off a debt, it doesn't hurt to do something for a short amount of time. So you can do gig work for a few hours a week, dog sitting, babysitting, delivery services, or other freelance skills if you have any. Even a part-time job on the weekends for just a month or 2 can help you bring in a few $100 extra a month or more. And if you use that directly towards the big 3, saving, investing, and paying down debt, that is going to accelerate building your net worth. Now, I could go on and on with different sprint ideas, but if you guys stay tuned, subscribe, and check out my video next week, I'm going to give several other ideas for 30-day challenges that you can do during this next year that are gonna help speed up your wealth trajectory. So those are the 3 steps. Get your snapshot, set up some systems and habits that are gonna be consistent throughout the year, and then add another layer of some sprints. That's how you're going to change your slow wealth building and really change the trajectory so that by the end of next year, you're going to have made huge progress. Now, before I get to the challenge that's going to really hold you accountable, a few quick tips, because I really want you to succeed. Number one, don't compare yourself to anyone else's progress. Your progress is going to be mapped out with your own net worth tracking. Forget what everyone else is doing, just focus on you. Another thing to remember, it's very cliche, but it's true, progress beats perfection. Not every day is going to be perfect, and you're not going to be able to stick to your plan 100% of the time. But don't beat yourself up, because generally you're going to be making more money moves than not this entire year, and every little thing you do is going to make a difference. And last little tip is, I want you to remember your why. There's a reason you clicked into this video and you got curious about how to change your wealth trajectory for the year. Think about why it's important to you that 12 months from now, your net worth has grown. Is it that you want to feel more secure? You want to reach financial freedom faster? You want to bring up your retirement year a few years earlier in the future? Whatever it is, stick to that why, because that's going to keep you motivated when it comes to day-to-day decisions like buying something versus not, or saving and investing versus putting your money towards something else. Now, I'm going to stop delaying it. Let's talk about the challenge. Here is the challenge, and it's going to take some work on my part. If you are down, if you really want to increase your wealth trajectory this year and you want to see growth in your net worth between now and 12 months from now, I want you to comment and tell me challenge accepted. And on top of that, if you are willing to share your net worth today in the comments, I mean, most of you guys have usernames anyway that aren't your actual name, so it's kind of anonymous. That's a bonus if you're willing to share that. But either way, for anyone who comments challenge accepted, in 12 months from now, in December, I am going to hold you personally accountable. I will be replying to all comments and reminding you to recalculate your net worth so that we can see how much you grew it. If you're not comfortable sharing your numbers, that's fine. Tell me challenge accepted anyways, because I'm going to give you that reminder. So that means if this video goes crazy viral and I have thousands of comments, I'm literally going to be spending my December 12 months from now commenting back and reminding you guys to recalculate your net worth. But look, I'm down for that challenge because that's easy, right? Responding to comments is easy. I want to see how many of you put in the work to see real progress, and know that I'm going to be rooting for you because I want to see as many people succeed as possible. Good luck, let's get it, and until next time, peace out.